Melissa, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
It doesn't
I'm
matter
talking
what
to my
you
brother.
want.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
no.
You know what?
You bitch, because I'm not even talking to you.
No, Frankie's no longer with Louie. Okay, what happened?
Oh, I want to know that. Okay. I really want to know that because
he got another job, and that was it.
And, you know, he told me some things.
This ends right here, what this rumor is, and I don't want to talk about Frankie at all in this cesspit of anything.
Because they really don't know you a real silly Philly bitch that get down.
He can do better than Melissa at that meeting.
I never said that.
I swear on my four daughters.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again.
No, he claimed Gia said that.
I mean, ooh.
I never told him that he could do better than my Aunt Melissa. And it's sad, Joe, that you're trying to call me a liar.
Mommy and Daddy, you should be ashamed of yourself.
She's embarrassed.
And don't come following me!
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the reunion part 3, and this was a lot. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, want it, securing the bag.
All right, so basically, I'm gonna leave my final thoughts for the end because this is gonna be a quick video because I got a meeting to go to. So let's just go ahead and just knock this out. Okay, so, you know, the guys finally come out and, you know, the tension is there. Like, everybody's on edge and everybody is just like, they want to hurry and get this over with. But, you know, you got to go. It's the final boss round, right? So, you know, Andy, he does his intro with all the men. And, you know, when the mess starting, Andy brings up Louie and the pajama comment, which we already know that was already weird as it was. He's like, yeah, you know, I slept in your father's pajamas to make your nieces feel comfortable. That's weird. So he was just like, oh, it goes out of context. I mean, I don't know what context you were trying to put it in, but regardless of the fact, it's weird all the way around. So basically says, you know, Louie, I wanted us to be a family, but, you know, ever since you came into the picture, everything's been different. So Joe says after Teresa got out of jail, she was in a good place, but now, you know, everything is weird. And he was like, you know, we were spending so much time with her, we were calling her. And Teresa was like, yeah, you only did that because we were filming. Melissa started chiming in and Teresa yelled,
Melissa, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
It doesn't
I'm
matter
talking
what
to my
you
brother.
want.
Shut the fuck up.
she's like, at the end of the day, Melissa, hush. I don't want to talk to you no more. I'm over you, this, that, and the third. And I feel like at some point, I'm going to leave that towards the end. Or it should be between Joe and Teresa. I feel like one thing that's making this whole situation worse are the partners, Louie and Melissa. I feel like they are very much too intertwined in this. And if Teresa's saying, look, this is the last time I'm going to talk to my brother, let her have the opportunity. You just sit back. Like, Melissa, you already won you won the reunion. You won part 1 and part 2, period. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, there's no reason for you to even chime up. Let your brother have his, you know, his moment.
Yes, ever again. I don't. Now he's your brother. He is my brother. I can speak to my brother. That's the last time I'm going to speak to my brother. I can speak to my brother. Time you're ever going to. Oh, well, then I'll shut up.
With his sister. So Teresa and Melissa going tit for tat. Melissa's like, Teresa's like, that's my brother. That's my brother. And Melissa's like, oh, so you disowned us a few minutes ago. So that's your brother now? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna let you disrespect my husband. So it is what it is. Then Andy hops over to the whole Bill Aiden situation. He's like, so Bill, are you still staying in the pool house for a long time? And Bill was like, well, you know, at the end of the day, like, I am in a pool house still, but, you know, my job is very demanding. I'm a doctor. So it's like there's, you know, when I come home, I do want time to myself because I'm always tending to other people. He was like, but, you know, I'm making more of an effort. And Jennifer's just like, you know, watching it back, I realized it wasn't that big of a deal. This, that, and the third. And I'm just like, girl, at the end of the day, like, you were over here making it seem like it was the end of the world, and now you want to sit up here and pump fake it like everything is cool and copacetic, which it can be cool, whatever. But I'm just like, it doesn't make sense because it was such a big deal. Y'all went to therapy one time, and then now it's just like we're in a great pace, we're good. So it makes me think that you only do this for the show, for a storyline. But whatever. This is when they bring up the whole Frankie and Louie thing.
Frankie's no longer with Louie. Okay, what happened?
He got another job, and that was it.
It's not about what I heard. Well, they closed it.
And about their whole business relationship. And, you know, Frankie lost his job. Louis wasn't contacting. But before anybody could speak, Dolores was like, you know, my son, he's good with Louis, period. That's it. And then Joe was just like, well, that's not what I heard. And she's just like, Joe, I just said they're good. Put a pin in it and dead the situation.
And, you know, he told me some things.
Oh my God, I don't know what. Gorga? Yeah, this ends right here.
So Dolores basically ended it. And then Andy was like, Dolores, what's the deal? She said, I don't want my son to be brought up in this cesspool of toxicity. We're not about to add on to the situation and use my son as a catalyst. So end it. And I respect it. I'm like, at the end of the day, you don't want your child to be brought up. I mean, you can't do nothing but respect it. He didn't sound to be on the show. Right? When we're at this awkward moment, everybody's just sitting there just like, then John Fuda was like, can I ask a question? And Andy's like, yeah, sure.
How come Louis and Teresa decided to bring my kid's mother into this? Why did you guys have me investigate it?
Ooh. And I ooh.
He's like, okay, Louis, Teresa, why did you investigate my he said, why did you investigate my my ex in prison? So, and Louis basically like, I didn't do that. He said, but you did. I know for a fact you did. And Andy's like, well, how do you know that he investigated?
You did.
Well, Dito's friends are subcontractors I happen to know. You had me investigated eye for an eye. This is how we play. Leave my kid out of it.
I'm just going to say this for future housewives, current housewives, future house husbands, and current husbands. If you come on any of these franchises and saying somebody did something to you that is outlandish and egregious and could have legal ramifications, if you don't have proof,
I don't care.
Margaret had proof. I can give her that. She had proof. That was his phone number. Boom. That's what it was. Period. I mean, it looks bad on Louis. Boom. But John, you had a manila envelope. You like, I have the proof. Show it. Show me the proof. Because at the end of the day, I'm not just going to take the word of none of y'all if there ain't no proof. Because that's very much a accusation, right? So that's all I'm saying. So Louis basically is looking like a liar, basically, regardless of if they were telling the truth or not. He's just looking horrible. And you know, it's sad to see that Teresa's getting lumped into it, because I don't think that Teresa even had anything to do with it, but I don't know, but it is what it is. And like Teresa's like, she's like, show me the proof, show me the proof. Okay, you want to say all this? Show me the proof. Show me the proof. So Andy's getting frustrated, and he just like telling everybody to be quiet. And he's just like, so why do you and Teresa have security guard downstairs?
Harassing my life, okay? And
someone in this room keeps coming talking to that person. It's Margaret.
And Louis like, well, you know, Bodito got him for us. And I'm just like, child, if it can't get any worse. Because I'm just like, you're saying that you basically didn't investigate everyone with the help of Bodito, but now Bodito is sending you security guards because you had death threats, which is, you know, but child. So they explain they got death threats, and Margaret basically saying that Margaret is the person that's communicating with the person that's sending death threats. And I'm just like, I don't really believe that. But at this point, people are just throwing out anything and just seeing what can stick. And it's not about if they believe it, it's about if the viewers believe it. Because Melissa, Frank, and all of them basically saying they got smear campaigns going around. And my whole thing is Melissa and Joe, y'all have been getting dragged on social media for years now. So I don't think it was Louis doing it, because literally when Louis came on the show, y'all look a little bit better than Louis. So I don't think he was causing it. I just think that was people's true feelings. But I mean, show the proof. So we get on this whole Pizzagate. I'm not about to spend that much time on Pizzagate because I have a couple of videos talk about Pizzagate in detail.
On the show, you made it sound like Louis ghosted you with the pizza business. Is that what happened? 1,000%.
I'm not about to be doing this. But at the end of the day, Louis put money in on these pizza making machines. Joe was supposed to put money in. Louis didn't communicate. Joe got mad that Louis didn't communicate and then stole the idea.
I met with your nephew. 20 minutes through lunch, I gave the guy a check for maybe about $110,000, prepaying for about 2,200 ovens to come in. You agreed. We moved forward.
Basically, what it comes down to is at the end of the day, if you didn't put it in writing, you didn't put it in writing. That means you did not secure and safe keep your idea. So regardless of if, let's say, Louis sold or not, you didn't put it in writing, so it is what it is. So that's just basically that. And they talk about Dina Manzo. Dina already came out saying that the accusation that Joe and Melissa said were lies. So there's that on that. And also then Joe called Louis a woman abuser. I mean, there's plenty of accusations out there saying that he abused women, stalked women, and this and the third. I mean, those are all alleged. I don't know for a fact. So, but it's just, I mean, hey, like I said, this whole reunion made Louis look like a serial killer, allegedly, like scary, right? So Andy brings up Jacqueline and basically saying that Melissa and Joe are the reason why they went to jail.
That Jacqueline told her that you were hanging out with Joe Giudice's former business partner who ratted out Joe Giudice.
And Teresa was like, yeah, I mean, you know, basically co-signed with Jacqueline. And Andy's like basically saying, like, you know, you agreeing with Jacqueline is like the joke of the century. Like, we already see the flashback, like y'all have been at it, like feuding.
Teresa,
Jacqueline has no reason to lie.
Suddenly standing for Jacqueline is like the joke of the century.
So I don't care.
Right? So it's just like, for you to just now take her word, it just seems ridiculous. Basically, Frank asked Joe, like, he gives him consent that he can reveal the information. And Frank was like, look, I was his attorney at the time, and you know, they asked him to come down there. He never showed. He never gave any information. So I hope they give you some type of peace of mind, Teresa. So he just gave that information. And I believe him, because I'm like, what point do you have to lie? Right? Fan question was like, how do you feel that Teresa's daughters were angry about your comments on the podcast? He was like, it really hurt. It was just disgusting about the comments that they made afterwards. But Joe, you have to realize that y'all went on a public platform, y'all podcast, and talked about her daughters. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Teresa is this nicey queen. No. But I have not seen any blogs saying that Teresa was down, like dogging your kids. I haven't. Now, did they get on the whole thing about putting food on the table? Do I feel like they did put food on the table? They helped them out, yes. Like, if it wasn't for, you know, them filming with them, they wouldn't have got the funds to support their family until Teresa got back. Cool. But to basically make it seem like y'all were the sole reason, I feel like if y'all didn't film with them, they could have got somebody. So you can't make it seem like y'all were the sole reason that Teresa and her family survived while they were in jail. My whole thing is, if you were doing it out the kindness of your heart, why even bring it up? Because yes, you helped them out, but you helped them out because that was your family. And at the end of the day, I just felt the choice of words was wrong. I probably would have said, you know, when Teresa was in jail, one thing we did was we made sure we backed her up and did whatever we could to support our family, because that's my sister, and I was going to protect her and help her out in any way I could. Boom. Instead of saying we put food on your table. It's very, I would take that wrong. I think anybody would be like, what? So Andy then asked to Joe, he's like, is it true that Teresa said that you'll be better without Melissa? Low-key, it sounded like something Teresa was saying, ain't gonna hold you. But they're like, no, Gia said it. And she's like, my daughter?
He can do better than Melissa at that meeting?
I never said that. I swear on my four
she
daughters.
didn't say that.
No, he claimed Gia
said that.
Gia would never say that. Gia would never say that. Teresa calls Gia. Joe like, call her. Melissa's telling him like, look, don't say nothing else. Just let her say what she got to say. Gia gives him the phone. She's, you know, talking. She basically says like, no, I did not say that. What I said was.
And my mom wanted him to walk her down the aisle. I never told him that he could do better than my Aunt Melissa. And it's sad, Theo Joe, that you're trying to call me a liar.
Hey, I would think that it would be best for you to, you know, come to the wedding, walk my mom down the aisle. That's what, you know, my grandma and grandpa would want, this, that, and the third. But she was like, I never said he would do better without Melissa. And she was like, for you, Uncle Joe, for you to say that and call me a liar, done. That's the point. I feel like there's no point in return. Because once you get the kids involved and once you're basically, you know, combating with your siblings' children, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think they should be done. It's getting too much because, like I said, these kids are going to grow up
hating both of them.
Teresa's kids going to hate Joe's. Hope not. And then Joe's kids going to hate Teresa. I hope not. But it's too much toxicity and tension. You know, watching the show, I feel like the root of the problem is clearly Teresa and Joe. they have an issue. But when you add Teresa and Joe, when they're trying to communicate, and then you add in the red man, and then when you add Melissa in,
You thought that was... I'm just curious. No, real quick on that. You thought we were doing it. You're not involved. Yes, I am.
Let him finish. Let Louis finish.
It just adds too many voices, and they're gonna believe the partner because that's their partner. But it's just too much going on. Like Teresa and Joe need to do some type of therapy together. They need to not be on the show together. They need to come to a place where they can reconcile by themselves. Melissa does not need to be involved in none of it. Louis does not need to be involved in none of it. It's just gonna cause nothing but disaster. Teresa basically storms off, and she was like, "How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself. Don't follow me." Da 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 da. Going up.
It's not the way I would raise my children ever. Mommy and Daddy, you should be ashamed of yourself. She's embarrassed. And don't come following me.
And you know, the men basically, when Teresa comes back on stage, the men are excused. Before they leave, Andy asks like, "Hey, what is like any final thoughts?" Joe was like, I say never. If, we get back in a good spot, that'd be great. Teresa was like, the door's closed. I'm over it. I really have nothing else to say.
What do you have to say, Teresa?
Nothing. I'm heartbroken.
It is what it is. You broke my heart. So Teresa is like literally over it. And it's, like I said, it's sad. So as Andy's excusing the husband, Louis goes over, shakes all the men's hands, which was kind of cringy. But then he went over to John Fuda. And he was like, Rachel, you're a great mother. John, I would never investigate you and your family. I would never. And then John was like, if you want to come and apologize and get on good terms with me, cool. But you need to admit the fact that you did investigate my family, like, period.
If you want to be concerned about that, if you want to be my friend, you will admit to it, because I know you did. Investigate you? You investigated. You found her. I can't admit that. Brought your... Like,
just be straight and honest. And Louis was like, no, I didn't do that. He was like, yes, you did. Like, just be honest. Don't come over here. You're a con man. So that didn't really go anywhere. And my whole thing is, John, if you have a manila envelope, pull it out and just be like, look, this is what it is. Like, it's just, for me, I'm just like, I want to get there. I want to get in the same space with you where I'm like, I'm rooting for y'all. I can't root for anyone where I don't know. Like, empty words, it does not mean nothing. You could say, oh my God, I can't believe this person said something. Well, how do I know they said it? Well, just, they told me. And then you go to them like, oh, I didn't do that. It's just, I need something. You need to give me something, because what y'all, on these reunions, people going to throw out anything. So I'm just like, I need something else besides just empty words, right? And mind you, it's not like I'm defending Louis at all. Because do I think he did it? Yes, I did. But I'm not just going to believe it just because somebody said it. Until I see the proof. Like with Margaret said, Margaret had the proof, Margaret had the paper. I mean, I can't do nothing but believe it. Louis didn't have nothing to defend himself, so it was what it was. All the women are there. It's the end of the episode, and Andy's like, Dolores, what do you think? She's like, they need to be separated. They just need to close this chapter of their lives. Time may heal wounds, but right now, they do not need to be together at all. And it's just sad because it's going to be more volatile and more toxic, right? Andy asked Jen if she could put the arsenal behind her. Jen's like, yes, I definitely could put the arsenal behind me. It was just petty. And our friend group the premise is us to be a friendship. I'm like, Jen, girl, that's not like a crap of bull. Because how you going to sit up here and be like, oh, we're supposed to be friends. You and Margaret are the main two going for blows every time at everyone. And y'all talk about this supposed to be a friendship. When I tell you, Jen, for me, literally fumbled this whole reunion. And I'm looking at her crazy. Because I'm like, Jen, how did you literally start at like my top 3 in dead last? Even below.
Jackie is what dead last.
But you are right above Jackie. No, ma'am. Basically, all the women give their salutations and salutes. And, they cheers to the reunion. This reunion was toxic. It was a lot, even for me, too. Even, mind you, I watched on Peacock. And I watched the unedited version. Oh, they was cussing.
Listen, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm talking to my brother. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to allow you to talk to my husband that way. You lie.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot. I pray for their family because I would never want to be in that situation with my family members. Now, I wouldn't even want to do a TV show with my family members. So I see why Teresa's kind of upset that, Melissa came on the show. Cool, whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel like these feelings were real. I feel like at the end of the day, I don't know what production is gonna do, but obviously somebody gotta go. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. This was a great season of Real Housewives of New Jersey. Let's see what happens next season. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to get the axe? Who do you think is going to come back? And should they add any newer housewives? All right, y'all. Talk to you guys later.